there, Dr. Sheep here. Welcome back to our TGIF Talks, episode 54. And we have another special episode ahead of us. Today I'm joined by my co-host, Corona Kyle. I almost said Anonymous Phil.
You almost did.
Will is dead. He still has... it's still been a while since his last incident.
I
it's well
still
over
need to
100
fix
days.
the sign.
Yeah, we need to modify that.
The tag.
And joining us remotely, you can't see his face because Discord's stupid. Buck, the Rental Man Buck.
Present.
Roll the intro.
Wouldn't you like to get away?
It's Friday. Gotta get down on Friday.
And they're always glad you came.
These podcasts are broken down into 4 parts. First, we have how our week's been, followed by the Corona news, followed by the comments and the future of both our channels, I guess, in this case, and followed by a random 4th topic. Today's random 4th topic is the future of Farming Simulator. So, Buck, as our special guest, how are you?
Let's just say it's been an interesting past 4 days that I am not the most happy about. Other than that, good.
if you don't mind sharing, go right. If you don't have to share.
Oh, I don't mind. I like storytelling. Just sometimes it takes a little too long to get to the point.
You've got
What?
time.
All right. Well, let's just say, first of all, I'll ask you how you're doing, because depending on how many times I want to ramble, you got anything fun that's happened since I've last seen you, heard from you?
Not really. We're at 174. We're trying to get to 200 before 2021. Obviously, the end goal would gladly blow past 200. But, we're working our way there. As for me, semester's done in about 2.5 weeks. My one professor, I could literally have all my finals done that Saturday or Sunday before Thanksgiving. But my one professor's like, no, we're going to have our final that Monday. And I'm like, you son of a gun. I'm gonna try and ask her, like, hey, I'm gonna be out of the state. Can I, take it before? To see what she says. I'm totally
I
gonna.
thought you're gonna get away with that one, but one Minecraft Let's Play or one Farming Simulator Saturday together, and I can help you get to that 200. I just gotta get my own dang schedule in line. I haven't even talked to my own guys in probably close to a week and a half.
Yeah, I'll be busy during Thanksgiving break because of work. But Christmas vacation's coming up, man. I can grind out I'm gonna grind so much freaking Minecraft and Farming Sim, it's unreal.
More than likely, I do not doubt that in the slightest.
I was already grinding today. I have to stop. I'm building this massive road, and my hand starts to cramp up because I'm just jamming the shift key in. Oh boy. Yeah.
Wait, are we talking computer farming sim?
Minecraft farming sim, Minecraft computer, and then also I'm playing Farming Sim on the computer, but you don't
Good, thank the Lord. If you were a console guy, I'd have to personally drive over to your house and smack you.
I had Farming Sim 17 on the Switch, but I'm like, I got this hell of a computer now. I'm like, might as well use it.
Yes. Be sure to check out all the mod network mods from anybody in the Boomstick Club. Everybody who there, only 2 of us make mods, and one of them only does it now, and they have a lot of great things, and it's an ad-free site where you can get lots of good things.
Of course, guys. Buck here makes all kinds of mods for the Farming Sim community. I'm not using any mods for my Let's Plays, but in the future, maybe I will use one for Farming Sim 2022 or whatever the hell they're going to call it.
If you would like to have something that's simple for your Let's Plays, you can get the skid steer hitch adapter. That's what you can do. Very small.
I decided I did go with the cotton.
Oh. I feel so bad for you.
Actually, cotton makes quite a bit of money, so apparently.
It does, but it takes forever.
Well, don't worry, I had to buy tiny fields, so I'm sure I'm just going to I'm going to use the cotton until I can buy a normal harvester, and then.
Did I ever tell you the story about the our Twitch game and what happened with a guy doing cotton?
No.
We left the server. It was a dedicated server.
Yep.
he apparently had gotten on and been working on this. There was 70 hours on that machine.
Oh my
On
god.
70 hours. He was on one field.
What?
One field.
Although
And he
you
had
put,
two machines running.
although you play on the really big maps, on the standard maps, it doesn't. You can't put. It's hard to put that many hours in.
It's about the size of. Well, I'll take that back. It'd been about the size of the biggest field in one of the stock maps. Like, it was a big field.
Really?
Not that big, but it was big. And he had 70 hours on these machines. Whether that be he left them running or something.
I mean, those things. That field takes forever. I have the biggest and I have the expansion packs, all of them. I have the biggest combine with the biggest corn header on, and it's still. It takes like 2 hours.
Yes.
It's ridiculous. And I'm like, what is this bull crap? Oh boy, the computer fell asleep. You still there?
Yes.
I lost
Hello?
I lost my display output. All right, I'm back.
Okay.
All right, so farming sim talk can wait. So tell us your story.
Let's see, where the heck do I even begin?
How about the car problems?
What?
How about the car problems? Because I had car problems as well.
So, you've seen my car.
Yes, the Oldsmobile. It's a wonderful vehicle.
Yes, the Oldsmobile bubble. And it just keeps slowly, day by day, turning into the Oldsmobile piece of junk. And I do not want to get rid of it. I love the car. It's a rare car, but it's a not very well known rare car. So because it's not well known, it's not very valuable.
How is not well known? I swear to God, it's a meme in the car world.
Not really. That car is actually not. It's a 3-year model. They only made that particular model for 3 years. And then the rest of them had either dropped out of line or they were just lookalikes and they had issues. You get the idea. The car is it just kind of fell into that didn't age well category. Mm-hmm. But to find parts for the engine on that thing is easy as can be. You can find them left and right, but the parts for the car, good luck.
Really?
You have to find a needle in a haystack. Well, one night I follow what's called the Unappreciated Survivors. It's a Facebook group for vehicles from like 1973 to 2001. They're just unappreciated survivors. You don't see these. They got like Pontiac Fieros, old Chevy vehicles, some Porsches in there. And I posted my car because I love the thing and it's not a very well known car. Some guy down in Fairbury goes, "Here's my 91 Trofeo," and 3 days later, he makes a post about his as well. It's the exact same car as mine. Same color, same trim. This thing looks like it's off the factory showroom floor.
Wow.
And some guy puts out a thing saying, "Hey, I see you two like these cars. Have you ever seen this group before?" It's an entire Facebook group dedicated to just that generation of my car.
Wow.
They sell parts, they sell cars, they sell how-tos. People can discuss problems on it. It's a gold mine. Like, you can buy trim pieces on this thing that are just itty-bitty little things. Buy them.
Wow.
Beautiful. And I come across, I put out a thing saying, "Hey, does anybody have this, and this?" I have 3 guys come up and say, "I have a handful of these, I have a handful of those. We can ship them," but their prices were a little bit iffy, and plus I'm still trying to get mechanical stuff on my car done, which roughly would be about $3,000 to get it back to. This thing ain't going to break on you for quite a while.
Holy crap.
If I use my engine. If I use my engine, my stuff, and we're talking like suspension parts, the little thing. Like, this is borderline brand new underneath. Not to an extent. So I'm thinking, okay, I can put my own money into whatever, because now I have to do what's called an intake gasket. It's an entire mess. So I get this one guy from Buffalo, New York, that offers me a parts car that runs and drives on 100,000 miles on this engine. He would trailer it from Buffalo. Its only problem is that it doesn't have a sunroof and it's a black car instead of red. He would trailer it from Buffalo to here, $950.
Whoa.
$950.
I mean, it's very tempting.
That's how much the car is worth in a decent condition. Like, it runs and drives, but it's got a lot of problems. That's $900. Not trailering it as well. I'm like freaking out. This is an amazing deal. I'm getting information about the car. I'm not just saying, "Drive it here. I'm paying you $950 before you even get." It's obviously, you got to investigate Well, we're like 3 days into this, and I keep going back and forth. I'm getting reviews from the guy about some other people who are saying he's very nice, very well to work with. He tells me all this stuff about how he usually gets like $3,000 when he parts it, but COVID, just whatever.
Right.
I go back and forth, and 2 nights ago, I was on my way home, and I was trying to find a way, like, okay, if I get this parts car, where can I store it? Where can I start pulling parts? Where can I do this? Where can I do that? Where can I get my card and just whatever? And the car almost literally like dies on me midway going down home. Like,
Yeah.
I'm 10 minutes from home, and this thing just sounds like the engine's about ready to give up. Like, I'm literally about to lose my car, and I just about had all these plans to go. Same
Right.
kind of go for when I was gonna do some. My car, in other words, just crowded out.
Yeah.
So I park it, and I take my dad's truck to work the next night. Well, then that night I was supposed to go out and do some schools, the one act stuff.
Oh,
So
you want that?
I'm already, yeah. I was an emotional mess just out there for about 20 minutes. I didn't want to talk to anybody, and I'm in a horrible mood. Well, I'm supposed to read off all these lines as like this really happy guy, and you can about imagine how well that went. But then towards the end of it, I was
Me at
fine.
work.
Got home, went to work on Friday. I came home and whatnot. Still just life and whatnot. And you get the idea. Today comes, and I was like, all right, I get to watch Nebraska go against Northwestern. I was able to get a TV provider through my mom, so I was able to watch the game because we don't usually get Big Ten Network, just to watch us literally ruin the chances of getting the scores twice, ruin it. And typical Nebraska football, sadly. They're trying their best. I know it is, and it's definitely rough. I mean, being a part of the Mustangs, we've all seen how great our athletic programs can be throughout the years. But we
Right.
try. We keep trying it. Both programs just can't seem to get anything going.
I mean, hey, the football team did pretty well this year. Back when I was in high school, we
got
were
hosed
crap.
over in the end.
They did pretty well this year. When I was in high school, we would no. It wasn't. It's like, oh, we're gonna make it. No, we're not gonna make the districts. Oh,
Right,
we're gonna win a game this year.
Are we
No,
going to even make it to the end of the season with a win?
we
We have not had a team with a winning record, because we did get a winning record this year.
Oh wow.
We went five. No. Wait a second. We went 5-3 because we were going to be going for 6-3.
Ah,
But we went 5-3. We have not had a winning record of 6-3 since the fall of 2015.
that back when we had good old Polinsky.
Good old, yep, him, Russman, and what was our quarterback? Fredrickson.
Yeah.
And all those guys. That's literally the last time we ever had one.
They were
And-
athletic. My entire class and the class above and below, we were not athletic at all.
Well, whoever it was the class that was right after the Polinsky and all them guys. They were athletic, but they just didn't have size. I mean, we're talking guys that. they were
Yeah.
like the
I think that was the
125
class ahead of me.
Yep.
They were all
Well,
small.
Yep. Like, it just was rough, and that's where I kind of always would go. All right, well, Mustangs got the butts whooped, 70-0. How bad is Nebraska going to get beat this week?
17-0. We never got beat that bad.
Take that back. Let's roll back the reel to last year's Wahoo game, 75-3.
No way. How does a high school team score 75 points?
Dude, there's been like 2 years in a row that we've gotten our butts whooped by 70 points.
Why did the defense even take the field?
Because by the end of the second half, they'd put their third string in on the opposite side, and they'd still be scoring on us. But it's just we are all trying, and it's just nothing works. But I hate to say it, a lot of the times when people look at like Nebraska football or just like ours, this is to make a joke of it, our high school football or just any of the sports in our area, it's just we've all become used to the fact that it's just they're not what they used to be. We haven't had a really, really good football team since like the 80s.
Yeah.
And then the college level, it's the 90s. I mean, Nebraska itself is kind of just the laughing stock of football these days. They
Unfortunately.
go, oh, they're always about ready to turn the corner. Oh, they're going to turn it around. Here comes Nebraska. They're going to make their change. Gets constantly whooped 45-0 by Ohio State.
That's Ohio State.
Yeah. Well, still, I mean, and then I kept reading some articles on this. I've been following all the just some Big Ten stuff and what they've been doing. And did you know the Iowa actually started the season 0-2? They lost to Northwestern last week.
See, we don't look like laughingstocks after all, losing to Northwestern.
Until they just whooped the living crud out of Michigan State 49-7 today.
Okay, well, you know what? With this Corona thing, I don't think the season even counts. It doesn't.
No, it does. How can Ohio State, with 2 wins right now, be ranked number 3 with Clemson, and with Clemson being number 1 with 7 games?
Yeah,
explain to me the logic behind that.
That doesn't work. This whole Corona thing, this whole I don't know.
It's an exhibition season.
I don't know if you I guess you probably you didn't watch the last podcast, but we talked about in the Corona part. We talked all about football. Well, I talked all about football. And I was like, I don't know why they brought it back. There was no. It's too soon. It's pointless right now. I was like, can we go 1 year without it? Because next year we'll have a vaccine.
Okay, I can fight with you on that one. I could fight with you on that one, not from the standpoint of it's Nebraska football, but from an economical standpoint, this is where a lot of people are getting really PO'd with the Big Ten offices. Those offices I think they're in Chicago, aren't they? They're in Illinois.
No idea.
Well, either way, wherever the heck they are, they're in a state, whether it be New York or I swear they're in Chicago. But long story short, them telling us that we can't have a season is like saying you're going to go down to Kansas City. You're going to go down to Kansas and tell them, all right, Kansas State, Kansas City Chiefs, Royals, all those sports, yeah, you can't have those this year. You know how bad that would hurt all the businesses in Kansas City? Just
right.
All those towns, Nebraska solely relies on the football program itself to bring in that money downtown. We don't have the ability to gamble. Well, now we do, but
now we do. Let's start gambling. Screw football.
If we weren't
hold on, Kyle wants to say something.
If we were a wet university?
Yes.
We would bring in a lot more revenue.
Oh yeah, everybody would drink their butts off.
But since we're a dry university, we can't make profit off liquor. All the bars make the profit.
Well, tell you what.
That's the part where the business comes into play.
Is because
go ahead, though.
We're forcing bars to make revenue. Because then people won't go to the bars to drink when they can just drink at the game.
Tell you what. Let's sneak into Ronnie Green's office. Tell him, like, hey, Ronnie, you know what we want? We want alcohol and a casino.
We want alcohol.
And a casino on campus. He'll be like, no. We're going to be like, okay, then. You ever heard of a little thing called, what happens if an entire university campus burns down? He'll be like, oh, okay.
You know the old
Sure.
The old health center?
Yes.
Right by Selleck?
Sure.
It's right across the street from the College of Business. That small little brick building.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. Yeah, what about it?
They could just turn that into a casino.
Exactly.
They already have the space. They already have the space.
But do you guys know the actual logic behind that?
What? The alcohol?
No, the gambling.
Well, I mean, the only reason why we got gambling this year was because of mail-in ballots. Otherwise, the whole other half of the state would be like, no, that's not God's will. They'll put it in every small town. Bro, they're going to put...
No, did you hear what they were talking about, though, when it comes to the gambling?
They're going to cut property taxes, aren't they?
Yeah, but, that was 431. 429 is the one that's the main one. They're allowing casinos, but they're in already made, horse tracks. So the horse track in Lincoln, the horse track in Grand Island, they can't just go out and start building casinos now like Ameristall.
Damn. I wanted casinos.
That's why that's what the big commercials were for. So don't vote for this because this is going to be ruining all of our kids and the children in schools because they're going to start. It's like, no, they are only allowed in the horse tracks, and then 430 allows the regulation for them to keep that in check. So it's really only those, and then the third one is the property tax. So that's why people were going like, you're telling us not to do the gambling because it's going to ruin our society, but in reality, no, it's not. It's only specifically for one spot.
And even if there would only open casinos in Scottsbluff, maybe Grand Island, and in Omaha. They might not even open one in Lincoln.
Doesn't the little Dickie at Raymond have one?
A slot machine?
Yeah.
They probably have Keno. I don't know if they have a slot machine. Do you know? Does the
Last
Ding-a-ling?
time I checked, I don't think they did. But if they,
I
you're
remember-
talking about like the ticket machine thing?
I swear it was like a
Oh,
slot
that's
machine
pickle
or
cards. Everybody's got
something.
pickle. You're thinking of the pickle card machine. Every
Okay.
bar's got pickle cards.
Oh,
They're just scratch offs.
Yeah, and technically that's the other dumb thing. Is like, if gambling's not allowed, then what on earth can there be lottery tickets sold in the state? Like that's gambling.
Yeah.
That's 98%
That
gambling.
funds the schools, though.
Like heck, man, we got like 3 lottery ticket selling places half a block from the elementary school. What are you talking about? Don't care. That's a casino right there.
Yeah, that's-
You have to go
But see, I think the problem is those have been around at longer than like gambling's been in Nebraska, and so like it scares people they're gonna build these casinos, but they're not. They're only gonna build them in places where they can get drunk white women. That's the only places they're gonna build them, and that's gonna be in Scottsbluff. That's gonna be in Grand Island, maybe Kearney. I don't know, one of the two, and then Omaha definitely, and they might build one in Lincoln. I don't know. Lincoln's pretty conservative, but after they almost
Lincoln-
gave an entire
Lincoln
like,
is- Lincoln's Democrat.
No.
Oh, we're
It-
Democrat, but we're really conservative because of our governor.
it's very like Lincoln is extremely conservative for Democrats.
Yeah.
And so you can't get anything passed. Like you
Yeah.
can't get anything passed. It's unbelievable.
It's a conservative, Democratic. Yeah, I know what you mean.
It-
Yeah.
Well, I
it's-
got a
it's
topic for once we
horrendous.
get to the Corona news that could possibly be
Yeah.
brought up. But,
Which is-
well,
Which is
speaking-
why the COVID thing, like Omaha opened up as online, not in person, because
Well,
they're more of a liberal Democrat.
speaking of
any of the
Corona,
bigger cities.
speaking of Corona, new segment time. 50 million cases, ladies and gentlemen, we did it! Woo! 1.25 million deaths. And yeah, it's about that.
To all those non-mask wearing Karens, here's to you.
Here's to everyone who has contributed to these 50 million cases. Oh, you're out of crackers now. It's gonna clink. Clink!
Beautiful.
What a great time. Alright, let's roll down to the U.S.'s active cases. Holy...
How big? Oh, is that 114,000?
Yeah!
Oh my god.
Okay, the
Okay,
U.S.
India was like almost.
They were gonna
passing.
catch us, and we just went, no. We don't do that here. Shoo, we're gone. The U.S., because,
Oh my
Buck can't even
God.
see it. 10.172 million cases.
Oh my god.
India is at 8.5 million, and then Brazil, the next closest, at 5.5, and then it drops after
A quarter
that.
of our population has COVID.
What? Quarter? What you talking about, Wills?
I can't do math.
Like,
Sorry.
quarter? We have 100? What?
No, because the population's on the far right.
Yeah, it's 331 million. You mean like a?
Oh wait, shoot! I can't do math.
It's like we hit like 0.1% of the population, whatever.
10 million. Oh my god.
All right. On the topic of that.
Yes. So
when they are, this is where I'm not sure how districts are going to do it, because we got an email the other day from school districts. I believe they're talking Omaha all the way over to possibly Grand Island. All the big school districts right now, they're getting together with the health departments to classify what's the safest course of action.
yeah,
And
because
they
Lincoln
said
went red.
The safest place for students to be right now is in the school building.
Yeah,
That's the funny part
that's the
because
same thing with the
UNL
university.
because
There's 0 cases coming from the classroom. It's all from
it's
frat
all from them
parties
going
or-
like, let's go get drunk, and then they go.
It's
and
all
expose
from the
themselves.
party. It's all from the parties. None of it's coming from. I don't think any of it's coming from the dorms.
No.
And if it is coming from the dorms, a person got it from going to a party.
So what?
But none of it's coming from a class.
So one of my roommate's girlfriend's roommate, sounds funny, she was over the other day, And I saw her, and I was like, get her out of here. And I didn't say it, but I was not nice to her. I was not like, oh, hi. No, I was
Neither
like,
would I.
get her out of here. Because I knew for a fact, she goes and parties. She does not care about this corona thing. I'm like, she is a ticking time bomb of corona. Get her out of here.
My dad and my mom, okay, so my mom's sister, their son, and then the dad, they have COVID.
That's
right
what I heard. That's what she was talking about on the phone.
They have COVID. And my mom thinks it's perfectly okay for us to have a Thanksgiving in person. I'm like, if you're going to do that, I'm not going to go.
You wanted to spend the week at my house?
Your house isn't even better. I'd rather stay home here.
No, they're all going to be gone.
Well, I know it's safe. But, like, my dad and I, like, it's 2 against 1. We're not going to let her have an in-person Thanksgiving. Because, like, one...
With people that have corona.
Even though they may be asymptomatic or they are cured, they still have COVID in them. That could still be transmitted.
Yeah.
And that's the issue. It's the fact that it could still be transmitted. Because they have, like, a slight cold. They don't have, like, the hardcore corona. It's, like a cold. But
My grandma caught a cold. And I was like, Grandma, if you're having problems breathing, you need to tell my dad and I so we can get you to the hospital.
And tested, yeah.
Well, not tested, just get her to the hospital and get her on a ventilator. If she can't breathe, obviously that's corona.
Like, I've been coughing. Well, I've been coughing ever since pneumonia, but...
You were fine up until today.
Oh, no, I've always been coughing.
I mean, you've sounded fine up until today.
Yeah. I have, like, no wheezing or, like, shortness of breath, so, like, there's no COVID. It's just, like, that slight cold I always get in the winter.
But is it a dry cough or a wet cough?
Oh, it's a wet cough.
Oh, okay. I'd say everybody's like, and then it was like, oh, I was coughing. I'm like, dry or wet? And they're like, oh, dry. I mean, wet. I'm like, oh, why are you telling me this? I don't
dry
care.
cough is a lead up to pneumonia, bronchitis.
Well, the dry cough is a symptom of corona. I'm like, until you have a dry cough, don't come talking to me. Because I don't want your cold. Which I'm avoiding somehow, so far. So, what you were saying about corona. Hello? Bob?
Hello?
Oh, you're still there?
Like, what was I saying?
I don't remember.
I was talking about the districts. Like, I highly doubt we're going to even really make it till Christmas before they shut it down, because Lancaster right now, its dial's in the red.
I don't know.
His district.
What district is he?
Raymond Central.
Oh, okay. I was going to say.
We are fine. The university is going to plug through the next 2
We're
weeks.
not fine, but the university's all like, screw that.
But there's 2 weeks left, and most people don't even show up to class anyways.
It's 3 weeks if you count the fine. It's 3 weeks until Thanksgiving.
2.5. We're done that Wednesday.
Okay, but still.
Tuesday, if you want to be specific.
What?
220.
Here's the proposition, because according to the news and whatnot, I think they're saying Brian right now only has like 3 or 4 beds left before they're full.
Really?
And it took me,
They're gonna have to
I'm
use
not even
university.
joking you, I felt literally stupid. When these hospitals are saying that they are completely stacked to the brim, and they got people sitting in the ICUs, I'm thinking this entire building is completely stuffed with people just full of COVID. No, it's just like one floor is completely filled. The rest of them are all regular patients, like the ones that just get out of surgery or they...
Oh, yeah, well, they can't allocate the entire
I really didn't know
hospital.
it was like they just dedicated like 2 floors to this.
Yeah,
it took me forever to figure that out. But one thing that I thought of as a proposition is I remember this was becoming an issue either late April, beginning of May. Lancaster County Event Center came out and they were going, we got an issue where we're used to hosting events like every single weekend, and we haven't had anything for like 3 months.
Yeah.
So we need to find ways to get these bills paid, and they were talking about how they're getting all these donations and whatnot. Here's an option that I feel could be beneficial to both, but it would have to be executed not necessarily perfectly, but it would have to be well shifted. And that is for people that are suffering from like the more mild case of COVID but still need the hospitalization. we open up the field hospitals in the event center because we have 5 Morton buildings the size of 4 football fields.
Yeah.
That has plenty of room for distancing and
Oh,
spacing
yeah.
out. Now, of course, it would obviously take the money and this time to get it set up. But
Yeah.
if that would open up Bryan, that would open up St. Anne's, that would open up all the different areas and all these hospital beds. Omaha could ship them in here and whatnot. Anybody who is not necessarily needing to be on the ventilator, they're just under that thing of we need to be in the hospital for this.
Mm-hmm.
They can send them out to the event centers, and that can help that place get all of its financial stuff paid up because they're going to have to pay to get all that stuff done.
Yeah,
and that
the
would help out
government
the
cover
event
that.
center immensely. But it would also obviously make that a huge hotspot. Like, don't go anywhere near that place.
I think.
But it'd just be an option for it.
I think it's gonna get pretty bad up until January. I know you've been talking about this whole political landscape. I'm sure you want Trump to win, but I think once Biden's in there, I think this whole Corona thing, assuming that the vaccine comes out and then Biden and Harris aren't just like, oh, it's no good, even though it's perfectly fine. As long as that doesn't happen, I think this whole Corona thing could blow over, and like to turn the event center into a field hospital. Jesus, sounds like we're talking about China back in February. That just scares me to think about that. But I mean, I guess it's hard to fathom that we're at that point again.
We're in the third wave, aren't we?
Yeah, we're in that. It's hard to fathom that we're at that point again, like we were this spring, where it's like, we're reaching critical mass here. Society's gonna break down. We're gonna run out of hospitals.
The thing that this is where, because when it comes to political standpoint, I actually would classify myself more as an independent. People keep asking, like, who do you want to win? Are you a Biden? Are you Trump? Are you this? Are you Joe Jorgensen? Are you the weird guy off the side? Are you
Hey, Joe Jorgensen?
Are you Deeds Nuts?
She's good. She's ugly, but she's good.
Yes. Well, because my personal, I'm born and raised Republican. I'm still going to side with Trump because of the fact that the actual job that he's pretty much done has not really been that bad.
Yeah,
It's
other
just
than maybe the
his
border,
mouth
he's
and
done a
his
pretty good job.
attitude is what kills him.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it.
I have my own personal opinion, but
Right.
yeah, go ahead.
But I mean, other than the border, foreign policy, other than the fact that he's kind of withdrawn from, other than the environment and the border, which are two really big issues, it's not been that bad. I mean, yeah, we've had a lot of debt buildup, but most of that's from the Corona so far. If Corona had been handed to him, I honestly think he's going to be looked at as more of a better president than because he is now. But with Corona, obviously, he's going to be forgotten as the guy that killed almost 1 million people or whatever.
You want to know a weird thing about time? Just last year was a 35-day shutdown.
We're not there yet.
Well, no, 2 years ago.
Oh,
It's been so.
Oh, wait. Oh, you're talking
just
about
like to show
oh,
like how much
the
time,
government shut down.
how much time has passed.
I forgot about that.
That freaking 35-day shutdown.
Well, he wanted that. Well, it was the border wall.
He wanted the border wall, and the Democrats were like, "No, you're not gonna get it."
Well, they ended up getting funded anyways, and now it's private.
Yeah.
Although, I wonder what's going to happen now with him out of office. It's just going to be sitting there rotting. I'm sure the privately funded part will get built, but like the publicly funded stuff is just going to sit there and rot.
I know it's a joke.
Sadly, I want a political segment in this so badly because of the fact that that's all we've been doing in government, and because it's an election year, it's so much more interesting.
Oh, I bet it's been
and how many
heated too.
states are under fire right now for things that they've been hiding for Biden's side and Trump's side. It's just a mess. One thing that here's one thing, because it kind of actually relates to the COVID topic. One of the questions during the debate, and I think it was the second one, was what are your plans, in other words, to help with the COVID crisis or healthcare when it comes down to it? And when they had Trump start it, typical him, he's going to go, Biden did horrible. He did absolutely nothing. He's a horrible person. He did everything in the book about what Biden does is wrong. He's where it was. And then she tried to ask again, like, well, then what's your plan? He's like, we're going to have the best healthcare plan. We're going to do all this stuff to it. Just never really explained anything. Mm-hmm. But then they come back to Biden, and Biden's over here going, well, we need to do this. We're going to help with this. He had a very specific list of what he's doing.
Yep.
And it was honestly a very, very solid topic. But I pull the red flag on one thing. Biden had just been helped, had just literally got off 4 years ago, helping Obama build this entire program for 8 years, having an entire program, having all this stuff done, even with 47 years in politics. He's done all this stuff. He's been working on it. So, in reality, yeah, bud, you better have a plan because you've been doing this for God knows how many years. If you walked up there and didn't really have a plan or forgot your plan, whatever the case may be, that's unacceptable.
Yeah.
Trump was technically given 4 years to completely rip a program that took almost a decade to build and then replace it with something up to that point. So my argument against that is that they gave him a question that's technically one-sided because one guy already had something that's pre-built for him. He just picks up where the other person left off. And then the other one's supposed to just, do you get the idea?
Yeah, and Trump, I mean, if it would have been up to Trump, yeah, Trump was just, he was stuck in a spot where he was stuck between a rock and a hard place on the bill. He wanted to expand it, but at the same time, he didn't want to expand it. Like, a part of him wanted to expand it more because he obviously, even though people don't see it in him, he obviously does care. He cares about, especially people his age. He cares about them. And he cares actually quite a bit about minorities and mental health because his own son has a mental disability. And he's done lots of programs with minorities. I swear he's only racist towards Hispanics. I swear. And then he's sexist. Otherwise,
more because then what was it this year when you had those white supremacists who were like protesting on the Capitol? He said, "Very fine." No, Charlottesville. Very fine.
That was 4 years ago.
Very fine people on both sides. And then said it again when you had that white supremacist group on Capitol Hill saying, let these people be heard. They're angry. Let them be heard. And then during the Black Lives Matter movement, he said these people are thugs and was downgrade.
And
I think
that's where and that's another one that I love to talk about is the movements of Black Lives Matter and the white supremacists. Both of them are they're the ideology behind the white supremacists, that's not all right. They want all the power on that side. And in my personal opinion, this has nothing to do with just whatever. My personal opinion on the Black Lives Matter movement, yes, they need to get their equal rights, but they're also segregating themselves. They keep bringing up these arguments of, we need to have this, 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 and this. In other words, they're trying to get back more than get even. They're trying to get more than what... Let's see if I can organize this a little bit better. I'm with all the saying that all the big one that I heard when there what's the name of the show? It's a new dedication to what's going on in 2020. They're having people come together. What's the issues? What's they're talking about? And one lady, African American lady, brought up that saying, "Black people cannot be racist. That's impossible." And there's another guy that brought it up saying, yeah, you can be racist. That's not a thing that just all of a sudden because you're one color you can't be this.
I agree. Like, it doesn't matter what your race is. Any race can become racist because I know Vietnamese people who are very, very prejudiced against French people because of colonization. Same thing with everyone else. It's not one-sided because race is a social construct.
And it's interesting. I've seen it's not just white people going against black people. I've seen Arabics that come to my place and butcher sheep. I remember one day, I don't remember what prompted him to say this, but he said, "Oh, those lazy N-words." And I'm like, whoa! All right, wasn't expecting that. He's like, "Yeah, they're all lazy. They're pieces of junk." I'm like, okay. But I do remember asking one of the guys one time, "Yeah, I'm going to vote for Ted Cruz." And I'm like, I am fascinated by you right now. Because, I was back in 2016 and I was like, oh, let's go Trump. And this guy says vote Ted Cruz. And I'm like, who are you?
But he's not an election guy. What the heck are you doing?
But, it was the fun... Well, no, I was back in 2016 during the primaries.
Yeah, I think when is he talking about, before the primaries and all that stuff?
Oh, this was during the primaries, but yeah.
Oh, it was?
And yeah, it was the funniest thing when the guy said those lazy N-words. I'm like, but you look pretty black yourself, though. I mean, if you're saying you're white, I'm invisible.
So that's the other one we keep doing. Everybody keeps segregating themselves. What's this? A white man shot this guy and a black man shot this. We gotta stop. Like, a man shot another person.
Yeah.
A woman. We gotta keep. There's gotta be a point
the media
to stop
portrays
this whole ideology of we're naming people by the color. It's like, that's the other issue. It's not just this guy's bad or this guy's bad. It's all of them. We're all doing it wrong.
Yeah, the way the media portrays it, they always out minority groups.
The media is so like if you want to point a finger, if we want to wrap everything up here for this segment,
it's the media.
It's always been the media. It always comes back because the way they paint Trump, the way they paint Biden, the way they paint Harris, the way they paint everybody. Mm-hmm. When in reality, if you actually listen to these politicians talk, they care about America. Now, yes, they also care about their own personal agendas, and the media will point out Trump's personal agenda, but maybe not Harris's or Biden's. And so it's like, you need to see both sides. And I think somebody pointed out, I saw it in a meme, but it wasn't really a meme. They're like, when this is all over, when Biden becomes president, it's all going to be forgotten. But Trump being president brought all these issues to light. And that's a good thing.
He did it in a really bad manner.
Right, but it needed to be done that way. Honestly,
it needed to be done, but the way he brought it up.
This is something. Sorry, Kyle. Go ahead.
Oh, it's fine. The way he brought it up, is what made people angry, because he did exactly. Who was president during MLK?
Kennedy before they were both shot.
Kennedy and Johnson.
And then LBJ.
It was more of Johnson, where the president.
That man walked around with his dick in the White House.
The fact that Johnson.
That's a real thing.
Yeah, that's what.
He would walk around and talk about how big his dick is, and then he'd throw it out on a table in front of secretaries.
Oh my God.
Johnson?
Yes, Lyndon B. Johnson did these things. He'd walk into the restrooms, the men's restroom, and be like, "Look at my freaking schlong." It's like, what the hell? There's whole recordings of him just talking about it. That man was infatuated with his own genitalia.
But yeah, Trump would just remain silent during all this stuff, which angered people because he refused to acknowledge stuff.
Yeah.
Which is what made people angry. So he brought all these issues to light, but he did it in a manner that wasn't the healthiest.
And now I'm afraid that with Biden and Harris, once to get the power, they're just going to forget about it.
Well, what I'm more afraid of is the transition of power.
Listen, the United States has had peaceful transition power for 200 years, 160 years.
We'll see what happens.
Trump is going to probably try to mobilize. Trump can't do anything.
Not New York stockbroker to another politician.
Yeah, we'll see what
the U.S. military can't operate on U.S. soil anyways, so.
National Guard can, though.
He's not going to mobilize the National. The D.C. National Guard's going to look at him like, what?
There was
he got 12. You got 12 votes to 20,000 in
my
DC.
friend.
Yeah, the D.C. National Guard's gonna look at him like, what? You want us to do what? Yeah, no, that ain't happening.
Our friend in my friend's Discord, they sent this tweet saying law enforcement will, if need be, they will do a forceful eviction of the president from the White House. And somebody retweeted, "Man, I want to see the live footage of this."
It's gonna be. I think he will leave though. I think once it's been recounted and the courts have been this is the results. Trump. I think he'll be like, all right. I don't think he'll concede, but he will leave the White House.
Yeah.
Truth be told, he doesn't like it at the White House anyways.
He doesn't.
If this whole thing goes back to where Biden and Harris do end up winning this, it'll be more of he won't necessarily fight to leave, but he'll just be like, "F you all, I'm done."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he'll kind of just give up.
Do you think he'll run again?
No.
The following year?
The man's old as hell. He's gonna go play golf till he dies.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna go open some new.
He's gonna have Secret Service.
Yeah.
Yeah, because presidents get their They're
From
protected
what
until death.
actually, what's the next topic? Isn't the next topic like what's with the channels?
The comments, yes.
Oh shoot, yeah.
We've been going for a while. Let's get to the comments. News segment time. The comments. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Alrighty here. Let's scroll that. Okay.
Sadly, I am not one of these comments.
Yeah, alright. So, we read your shocking comments. TGIF 53. Ethan O commented, "Good job on the videos. Keep it up." Oh, thank you. I went to school with that guy. A sheep.
Oh, that's who that is?
Yeah. Who's in my grade? Hello?
Hello?
Oh, sorry. It sounded like you cut out. It's weird.
Yeah, my mic's weird every once in a while.
A sheep becomes a cattle rancher in Minecraft Let's Play, what's this, 11? Yes, no, 12. The water bottle commented, "What a waste of stone pickaxes." Yeah, I trade with a bunch of villagers to get a crap ton of stone pickaxes, and then I throw them in the lake.
Oh, I got a mending villager.
Resources.
12 emeralds.
But see, it was just to get the diamond pickaxe and, like, the diamond axe and diamond shovels I can trade for. The Gas Giants, UFO Stories commented, "Good work, keep it up." I will say, you only watched for, like, probably 30 seconds there, bud. I was watching the retention time, so thanks, but no thanks.
God, you sound like that one Among Us player who camps cams.
I keep track. Unboxing a Swift SW350T lab microscope. This video, what's it up right now? It has 819 views in 2 months. I don't get it. And it continues to grow each day. It's going to end up in like my top 5 here probably in the next 2 months. Sarah C5 Go Ronix commented, "You're so funny. You were talking to a water bottle. Heart LOL." I was talking about the water bottle. You know, the water bottle, the one I went to high school with. She seems to think I was talking to an actual water bottle. Whatever the case is, she subscribed, so thank you. You're 174.
Sadly, I can actually believe that you were talking to a legitimate water bottle.
Listen here, Buck.
Hey, I can shut off my support anytime, bud. Nah. No, I just wait.
Wait.
Bottle. I don't know who the hell that would be.
The guy that tried to, the one we had a dedicated podcast for because he was having mental health problems.
Still not ringing a bell.
Oh, I'll tell you later after the podcast. And then also,
Right.
What? Then
Go ahead.
Anyways, then also on the Gas Giants video, I don't know why I just didn't read this one earlier, the water bottle commented, "Maybe Neptune is just a solid sphere of lapis lazuli." Maybe. Because actually in the video, I talk about how Neptune is more massive than Uranus, even though it's smaller. And we also don't know why it's so much more blue than Uranus. Interesting facts about the planets. What?
I like what you're doing there with the name.
I have to say it properly. In the video, I say it improperly as for the meme, and I have an argument with a stuffed animal. Anyways, you have to watch it. It's cringe but funny at the same time. Funny cringe is the best cringe.
The Celestial Buddy.
Yes, you remember that? Weren't you there filming with me?
I was there when we bought those.
You weren't there for Uranus though.
No, I was there for Neptune, and I got the last one.
And Jupiter.
Yep. And then we were trying to get a deal on the Polaris because it broke.
Right.
And they wouldn't let us.
What was it? What was broken with it?
Polaris A and B fell off.
Oh.
And
Well, see, I just want Polaris without the damn lights.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, future of the channel. So this week, you guys have already seen it, but my first FS19 Let's Play is out, and as of yesterday, because you'll see this Friday, as of yesterday, the new DLC is out. As you can see, I timed those perfectly. So, gotta get as many views as possible with that. And also, Buck, I don't know how familiar you are with the whole farming sim community. Do you know Farmer Cop?
No.
He's a YouTuber. I stumbled upon his tutorials. I don't need his tutorials, but he also does like analysis of the videos where he talks about like, and one of his ones I've watched is he compares wide tires and the amount of power they have versus like narrow and standard tires, and then like all the variants, and like how much more power you get with like all wide duals. It's crazy.
I'm telling you right now, the best and the only people to get FS19 news from or FS19 tutorials is Silver News and Moose 2006 LP.
Yes, Moose. Have you been watching his
Moose
Let's
can you get
Plays?
tutorials from? Only Moose.
I've seen all of his Let's Plays and his tutorials. Have you been watching his Let's Plays?
I've been watching him periodically, especially the $1 million one.
The beginning, they just go so wrong for the beginning of that one. He picked the hardest game
I tried
mode.
offering him a shot at getting a possible key to the Alpine DLC, the Alpine expansion.
Yeah? What'd he say?
And he's like, that'd be really nice, because I'm partnered with Giant. I'm part
Right.
of the partnership program. And I could possibly get keys to that. And I was like, what if I got him one?
That would be cool.
That'd be nice, but I think I'm just going to get it.
Are you going to get the Alpine DLC? I mean, of course, with the key, I suppose you are. Are you going to make a video on it at all?
The only one I might do is because of the mower that has the locking animation on it, and I might try and not necessarily crack the DLC, but if somebody finds out how to do that, I'm going to put that on my little walk behind mower so I won't have Skid Feet McGee behind it.
Yeah, I bought the DLC. I mean, obviously, I pre-ordered it when I bought my Farming Sim thing. Farming Sim, the base game, is very cheap, but after you buy all the DLCs, it gets very expensive very fast.
You know a game you can buy the entire thing for? I'm not sure if you can still... that was loud. The entire game you can actually buy right now for $35. Gives you all the expansion packs and everything. Wreckfest.
Wreckfest. What is Wreckfest about?
Wreckfest is a demo derby style NASCAR with crash physics. It is spectacular. You can have demolition derbies with lawnmowers, bumper cars, outhouses that are strapped to the frame of a go-kart. It's spectacular.
So this might have been beyond your time, because I mean you are a little bit younger than me. But Cartoon Network had a demolition derby with the edit characters online that you could play. I never played it, but I watched a guy. He was in the grade below me. I watched him play it one afternoon, and it looked like a lot of fun. Did you ever play that?
What was the name of the game?
I don't remember what they called it, but it was the Ed, and Eddie characters, and they would drive refrigerators and boxes around.
Majority of the time when I used to do that, I was more of a Nickelodeon guy, so it was like the SpongeBob ones.
Oh! Did you? I think I did play in daycare. They had the racing SpongeBob game.
Yes.
I think I played it one time.
On my DS.
If you can figure out a way to game capture that, I'm sure people would watch it.
Yes.
But I think you have to hack the DSs to screen record. So, yeah.
Somewhat.
Yeah.
It's not very fun anymore since I think some of the buttons to do some of the actions are the bumpers on the back, and those are the ones broken on mine. Otherwise, the entire DS is worse. It's completely fine.
Yeah, the batteries on DSs. My roommate brought his DS over this fall, I think, or maybe it was last spring, and he brought it over, and he opened it up, and he's like, all these phones and stuff, the batteries die so quick. That DS battery was still at 60%. From 8 years ago when I last used it. I'm like, what the hell? How is it 60% battery? That's crazy. I'm like, yeah. And then he got sacked when the buttons kind of popped off. He's like, Doc, you need to fix this. And I'm like, okay. So I went and took a steak knife, went poop, popped it back in, and he's like, you're a miracle worker. And I fixed his DS. And I'm like, okay, son.
That's like you're like the kid fixing the router. You fixed our internet. What can we do for you? I just pressed the reset button on the router.
Buy me a pizza.
Buy me a pizza. Is it Casey's?
Oh, I like Tombstone. I was just like the frozen pizza from Tombstone.
Ooh. I'm not sure on that one. But, what else we got?
So, future of the channels. I mean, okay, obviously my FPS 19 Let's Plays are starting. Minecraft, guys, I'm getting close to getting back to the Nether. I have to do a bunch of villager trading, and I want to finish this stupid road first. And then I'll be going back to Nether. Otherwise, we're going to do a shift in content for the normal science videos. We're going to attempt to do anyways, but it's going to require a lot of more writing. And obviously, Phil seems really flaky recently. So getting him to be there when we need him to write these things is going to be difficult. And I've contemplated maybe bumping it up to like 4 weeks for those regular videos. And then I can just do a supplementary, like, either a tutorial myself for Minecraft or a tutorial for FS19 or whatever the new or whatever the new FS game is going to be. I can make my own tutorial, whatever the case, or just a bonus video for that week. I'm not sure yet. Now, talking about future of channels. Buck, tell the crowd. Tell a whole 5 people that'll watch this. What is your plan?
Well, as of right now, I recently just hit over the 20,000 subscriber mark, and it's honestly not been very productive since. To actually record that, I'm not even joking you, the picture that I have for the thumbnail of me standing next to my car before, decided to take a dump 3 days later, I washed the car for the thumbnail.
Oh. Damn.
Because otherwise it looked like garbage. And I was like, I want to use my car, but it looks like garbage. So it's gonna do that. I am a very I did this in my 20,000 video subscriber too. Right now I'm just kind of in that I don't really want to upload or just I don't really want to post at the moment. But I mean I plan on getting back into hopefully some of the like 2000 not a 2000 series, like another bigger role play series with all my buddies again.
Yeah.
Possibly doing some more with my landscaping and my homeowners and all that stuff. Just the basic series of just trying to find new ideas, trying to find more things. Keep deleting more and more comments about how people keep asking for mods because I'm like, I'm just done. There's people now in the Facebook communities that are just starting to post pictures and starting to release stuff that are, in other words, stuff that me and my crew or just me have done. I've just done. Because they're sick and tired of me saying, I'm not going to release it yet. I'm done doing that. I just want to do it myself. If you guys want this, you're either going to have to wait until I decide to put this thing out, or you're going to have to do it yourself. And some of them took action, and I was like, it sucks to see some work that you've done now being copied, but in reality, good for them. They got sick and tired of me saying no, and they did it themselves. So it's nice, but it's also, I never really liked YouTube as a job.
Right.
I just see it as a hobby. And for somebody to go, but you have 20,000 subscribers and you're working with people that are making livings off this. They got full-time jobs doing this. Why aren't you like so excited? I'm like, one, because I got sucked into this job and I was like, in other words, quote unquote, forced to start a channel.
You were forced.
Two, I do not like a desk job. It has never wanted to be. I've never wanted to have a desk job.
Right.
And 3, I just have a different style than everyone else. All my videos, when I do it, I don't run anything too expensive. I mean, I have a $25 headset. I run my setup is honestly fairly nice for like the average guy that says I'm just doing this as a hobby. It's definitely a bigger setup than that, but I've come across half this stuff just by luck.
Right.
And I just don't really know what to do. So I was never trained in any of this. I never really had to have that battle like you guys are always doing of I lose a subscriber today and then I gain 2 and then I have a lucky guy throw some stuff and then it gets me up a little bit or something goes wrong and I go down. I never had to experience that. I posted one video and people just instantly, boom, I'm at 1,000 within a day.
You want to talk about YouTube luck? So since I've started watching a lot of farming sim lately, I've been slowly getting more and more to the farming sim community. I'm seeing more of this YouTube luck. I discovered a YouTuber last night, Laura Farms. She's in Aurora, Nebraska. She uploaded her first video on April 23rd, 2000, my 20th birthday. She uploaded the video. She now, it is November. Jesus, I wanted to say August, and then I wanted to say October. It's November. Oh my God.
I say we're already almost over with the year, bud. Cross your fingers.
Yeah. She has 91.7 thousand subscribers. And I'm like, what on earth?
What is it again?
Laura Farms. All she does is like real life farming videos, which honestly is pretty cool. And it proves Phil and I's theory. Well, it proves Tom's theory, and it proves Phil's theory. Tom's theory is people like to see blue collar work. That's the farm vlog. Phil's theory and I is you gotta have a relatively attractive woman in your videos. She's got both. And so she's just farming these views. She's sponsored by some big farm ad company. She's
Farmer Business Network or something, FBN.
No, not Farm Business Network. No. And screw those guys. They're gonna ruin the cooperative way. I'm in a cooperative class. I'm learning all about this, even though I might end up working for them one day. Anyways, no, she's working. No, it was CX. I'd have to rewatch the video I watched. But she was like working for like some farm thing. I'm like, what the hell? How are you sponsored by this? She didn't even have to say their name in the video. She just had a card. And I was like, what? But I mean, when her videos get hundreds of thousands of views. Like she's got one now that's doing very well. She has an army truck versus a tractor tow-off.
Well, when you got the resources, you can do... Oh, that's where the combine comes from. I wonder where the Bush Light combine comes from. I had a guy, he's from South Lincoln. I was talking to him about it. He's like, dude, I made a trip out there just to see this thing. And I was like,
the X9?
What's the rumor about a Bush Light wrapped combine? I'm like, what?
Oh, did you
get... saw the picture of it. I didn't know that was real.
Oh, the one where it's like a wagon? I saw that last night. I recommended. I watched the video. I was like, what is this thing? It's got the whole like grain bin part of it in the back. And then all the thrashing in the front. I was like, what the hell is this thing? It's orange.
That was amazing.
You saw that too, right?
I don't think I saw that one. I'm literally talking about the John Deere like 9R, the John Deere like
the X9
790, and it's got a Bush Light corn cob on the side of the thing.
Oh, I haven't seen. Oh, yeah, she has a video about that.
Yeah, and I know there was one guy. He actually does some farming. He's Ross W on YouTube. He did a. He went down with some of his buddies to go see this thing to see if it was actually true, because it started surfacing on Facebook, and the farming thing is like, where can somebody make this combine like true? And it's just like a staple of Nebraska right now. Like the Bush Light combine's just going nuts.
She also, there's Laura Farms. She also got to go see the new X9 combine and got to drive it.
I noticed that she apparently did a video with Zach, the guy who runs Millennial Farm up in Minnesota, I think.
Oh, it doesn't surprise me. They're two. Them and John the Corn Star. They're the biggest farming channels on the what? Cole, yeah, Cole the Corn Star. I almost said corn. Well, when you make your channel name one letter off, what do you expect me to say?
Okay, you're forgetting one very essential team, though. They're not the top ones. Mister, you're forgetting about Shelby, Montana.
I haven't.
Boy.
I don't know them. They don't pop up in my recommendation like Cole and the Millennial Farmer.
Nick Welker, Scott Welker. I can't remember what their dad's name is, but they run Big Buns, the big white metal tractors. His brother has actually just got out of the hospital. The big one, they call him leg arms, because his biceps the size of my thigh. And he just got done in the hospital for having a 700-pound drawbar fall on his forearm.
The hell?
Yeah, it was nice. It was beautiful.
Big Bud tractors. It was like one of the most popular mods, I think. Everybody's got that mod, except for me.
Yeah, and they have like 3 of them, I think. They just got done restoing one. They did one like last summer, and the sprayer they have, the big brute, that has the body of like a case spreader or floater truck, the cab like the hood of a Big Bud, and then the sprayer of like a tow behind New Holland. It's like 3 things mixed to one. It's beautiful.
Oh my god. So no, they're like, and the crazy part is her fiance, soon to be husband here in like December, he's an ag econ major at the University of Nebraska. And I'm like, how have I not seen this guy? Maybe I have, and I didn't even realize it. The guy might even know me well, and I might not even realize it.
Ah,
And I'm like, how? I've been this close to greatness for... It's weird. Once you start to actually, like, get into this, you're starting to realize how close you are to all these really big people, and you're like, I'm just so close, but yet so far away. All that
so
would
what's his
take...
face? The guy, our big dude, the squad who has the million.
Yeah.
He said that he's actually. We were on the phone the other day and like just Discord chatting. He's like, "Oh, buddy, I might have to make a stop at your place." I'm like, "Why?" Going to Colorado. Oh, he's gonna be going through Interstate 80. So if I can plan it right, I might actually go to meet the guy.
Oh my god.
And people have always asked, like, have you met any of these people in like real life on both channels? And we're all like, no, not in the slightest.
You've literally only met the Doc and Moose.
Yes. I've been taught by Moose. Not
Even I've been taught by
how to play
Moose.
the whistle flute. Otherwise known as the recorder.
Even I've been taught by he didn't teach us the recorder. We had a female teacher teach us the recorder.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. I can't think of her name.
I don't know. She was only there for like a year because then she got sick and just left. And then there was the old band teacher. This is before your time. I'm talking like when I was 5th grade.
No, I'm talking about like I had her too.
Oh yeah, you probably would have had her in kindergarten.
Mm-hmm. Somewhere around there.
Good times. Back when
Yes,
we were all
definitely.
innocent. Never would have thought we'd be YouTubers. Or,
Yeah.
I guess you still don't think you're going to be a YouTuber.
No, dude, I'm still trying to figure out if I am one.
I'm not. I want to be. It's on my
You wanna
bucket.
be? Hey, do you want to trade channels?
I thought about it.
No. You cannot ruin the Rental Man. They go, wait, why'd your voice get like this?
I don't know.
I've been using a voice changer.
What? Oh, okay. You confused me for a second. You actually... Okay, never mind. No, don't trade. But no, we definitely need to do like a live stream or something. I could probably live stream. I'd have to get my roommates to shut the hell up for like a day, but I could probably do it.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be on a weekend I don't work, but you know, that's every other weekend, so. We definitely should though. I don't know what we would do. We could do Minecraft. I mean, or we could do FS19. I could do either one these days, so.
Mm-hmm. Well, if it comes down to that, I might actually. Do you play No, never mind. Well, actually, yes. Let me gather my words here for a second, and actually spit something out that'll make sense. Do you play GTA 5, except it's the 5M version of it?
I have not downloaded GTA 5. After I built the computer, money has been like up and down recently, and it's slowly starting to come back up. Now that I fixed my truck, it's kind of down at the moment, but give me another 2 weeks, I'd be back to normal. What's the M5 version of it?
The 5M version
5M.
is like a role play style, where, long story short, people that do not want to walk around and shoot somebody with a rocket launcher or annoy them with a rocket bike can go and get pulled over and make characters, have NPCs, have custom-built characters. I've walked around as Dwight Schrute, and I walked up the billboard.
Oh, yeah, you showed me that.
Follow a red wire. Yeah, all that stuff. And it is a blast. My last operation that I did was with the infamous and glorious, never to be forgotten, Józef Krakowski.
Yeah. We talked about that.
It was glorious. We kind of like just all, and we had Meth Jesus. It was great. It was great. It was the best.
Hey, meth is legal in Oregon now. Actually, all drugs are legal in Oregon. Did you hear about this?
Meth and heroin.
Yes, I did.
It's
But
crazy.
yeah, good luck getting it into the state.
Well, that's something I'm curious about. So you get sent to rehab, but what if you're just a dealer? What, and you don't actually do it? Can I just make meth just for that and make a living off of it and report it to the IRS and just be fine?
Dude, How much do you think GTA is right now?
60.
It's $30 on Steam.
All right. Well, I mean, isn't it like 200 gigs still?
No, it's like 92 or something.
That's 10% of my storage. But I mean, yeah. I mean, we could set up a time. Well, it won't be this weekend, obviously. It'd have to be probably after Thanksgiving sometime in December.
It honestly don't matter if you get it or not. It's just another fun thing if you ever wanted to get into it, because I got hookups to our community, which has a majority of our guys in there, plus one guy by the name of King May. If you have never talked to that guy,
You mentioned him in the last live stream.
him.
I tried to find his channel. I couldn't find it.
What?
I tried to find King May. I couldn't find it.
He is glorious. He is absolutely spectacular. That man can get you just rolling tears laughing by when he just busts out loud. It is spectacular. You could be having the worst dang day in the world, and he will put a smile to your face.
Oh, I do that to most people. That's just because I act stupid.
That's pretty much why he gets the gig.
I sent this person some memes one day, and she was like, "Thank you. I had such a crap day, and these memes made my day so much better." I'm like, "That's why I'm here. That's why I send memes to people."
If I turn on my camera, would your recording pick it up?
I don't have it set to screen record. I literally have to buy my new screen record, so you can turn your screen on. It doesn't really matter. No one's gonna see it except us.
I was gonna say, eBay is a wonderful thing, and I've been like searching for a while. One of my favorite modifications that I've done to a pickup is the mud flaps.
Yeah.
You seen this?
I can't see anything.
I know, but I'm saying.
Oh, hello.
I bought my Roadrunner mud flap.
All right.
I love this thing. I wanted one so badly, and I have to find another one because this is for a truck.
Right.
I actually bought a set that I thought would be either another truck set or whatever it was, but these ones for cars. So once I get my car fixed, if I can get the back end up, I can have ones for my cars.
Wow.
It's spectacular. They're harder to come across, though. There's a set for like Yosemite Sam ones and Tasmania ones. They go for like $80 a pop.
Oh my God! Why did they stop making them? I feel like that'd be a really big money
Because
maker.
it's Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers and Looney Tunes.
Well, I mean,
those mud flaps are from 1987.
Jesus.
The little car ones are brand new. Like when I got them, they still had the box thing on top.
Oh my God. They could bring those back. They brought back the Animaniacs. They could bring back Looney Tunes, and everybody would just be in love.
Well, that's what kind of ruins them because they're harder to find, and that's why I like to collect things. Dude, in my room, I have a mud flap off of a semi-trailer and a rim off of a race car.
Yeah, I've seen that. You also had a piece of a coffin.
Yes, that is true.
For people that don't know.
This is true information.
Yeah, he has a coffin. Anyways, we should probably get going to the next segment. I mean, we've been trucking along here. But honestly, you and I still need to discuss the future of Farming Sim.
The future of Farming Sim is, where the heck do we begin? Bad, good?
So, from what somebody told me, I guess Farmer Cop said, you should look up Farmer Cop. He's very interesting. I like his Let's Play in No Man's Land. He talks.
Oh, I've heard of this guy.
Yeah. So, Farmer Cop said the reason why the new FS didn't come out this year is because of the new consoles coming out this year. They want to make sure that their game works with the new consoles well. I don't know if that's true.
Not from really what I've heard.
Really? What have you... I mean, I suspect it was COVID, but what have you heard?
No. From what we've heard is that Farming Sim itself, the game has always been known to, in other words, release a platform of mobile on an even year, and then the new game for PC, console, Switch, whatever the heck you want to call it, that always came out on the odd year.
Yes.
So 17, 19, it would be 21, but they're starting to realize that this game has more life in it than just 2 years. Because it's always saddening. Like, if you even go check out a lot of the Facebook modding groups of just today, you'd be very surprised how many people still play FS17 just because they prefer it way more over 19. They say 19 is garbage.
I like
So it's
some
more of a
aspects of 17.
lifespan thing than it is. They could be more towards the consoles as well, but a lot of people are also knowing that with the release of that's what the Alpine DLC is. Instead of releasing a new game, Giants is trying to pick it almost kind of like GTA to see how long they can milk this one. And if it goes well, then they can make FS21 or 22, whatever they want to call it, because they're dropping the mobile platform.
Oh, really?
They're going to drop that, and then allegedly, and they're going to try and do whatever. They're going to try to extend the game's life.
Well,
Because now they realize the only reason that Farming Simulator still exists today, though, is because of the modding community. That is literally the only reason.
It's something that is fascinating with Farming Sim is. I always thought of it like it's kind of like EA and FIFA, and like I didn't want to see that happen where you just people bought these every 2 years, but the games really weren't changing. Now Giant actually has been changing the games every single year. 19, 17, the really only big difference was they added cotton. And it was like, and like they add a few new game mechanics.
Got a redo when it came to lighting.
What? Well,
graphics engine got a different.
Yeah.
What?
Well, it was just.
It got a different tune-up for the lighting.
Yeah. Well, I guess I didn't know that, and that doesn't surprise me either. I wonder if they won't ever go RTX.
Hard telling.
That'd be so difficult in Farming Sim, but it would be so cool. Maybe Farming Sim 2035.
Maybe.
They'll add RTX.
Here's another thing about them is that always seems to. This was very apparent around the August to September time, I believe. The modding communities, there were about 6 of them that were really well known. Custom modding, Sid modding, Expendables, and just a handful of these. They're like the top ones that are even making console stuff. Mm-hmm. If you've been playing, have you heard of the guy 82 Studios?
I have not. Well, maybe I have.
Okay, he's the guy that's done all the mower packs. He did a mower pack. His biggest one's like the TRX truck for consoles. He built all the gooseneck trailers, the low boys, and all that stuff. Either way, he didn't join in on this, but it was called Operation Unity. And what it was a strike against Giants, technically saying, until we get the recognition we deserve, we're not going to be the ones that tote you on this entire franchise.
Wow.
Because it is true. The modders in this community are the only reason that the game is still apparent. Because the base model game, let's be honest, is garbage.
I play the base model game. I like it.
It's fun to play for about a week, but then it gets old.
Yeah, it depends.
Not as much as it is now. Like FS13 or 15, it was awful because you were locked to this tiny little thing of where you couldn't do much. And 19, they got better because they got a lot more licensing. Deer was the big stronghold that got 19 a lot more credit because they added another brand. The issue they have it with is that Giant Software is based in the is based over in Europe.
That doesn't surprise me. It explains why they have Massey Ferguson and everything's in euros, and that doesn't surprise me at all.
They finally built an office in Chicago, and now they're starting to get a little bit more of an idea on the American side of things.
Yeah.
That's why whenever you see an American tractor or an American style, like American brand in there, have you ever noticed how all their like tire configurations and their signs on the side are always a little bit different? They're not like you see them in America. It's because that's what those things look like in the European style. They aren't an Americanized. And that's one thing that Giants has always struggled with is that they don't have an American side to the game when Farming Sim is basically on our side of it, what people want on the American aspect of it. They don't have any idea because they're not from here.
Right.
So when they built the office in Chicago, it gives them a better idea of whatever. But going back to the Unity thing, Giants pretty much laid down the law on the fact of almost stating that they sort of own the modders. When you look at all the people on the third-party platform, this is why PC gets such a rap hate from console players. Every mod that console gets has to come off of Giants Mod Hub.
Right.
Technically, it'd be like saying you're going to the Steam store to buy something for, like a Steam Workshop for a game that you bought on Steam.
Right.
The issue that people are having with that is that they can't get the Ford, the Chevy, the Peterbilts, the load decks. They can't get any of this stuff because Giants does not have licensing to this.
Right.
But what it really gets messy on is they go, just take the logo off the front and put on Lizard, which is Giants version or Giants brand that they made when they did the game. It's not that simple, because if you go and buy yourself a Ford F-150 3D model and put Lizard on the front, what people don't realize is when you get that model, Ford owns the rights to that very model. They actually have paperwork you have to sign to get that model. And taking that logo off the front and sticking something else on, that's illegal.
Mm.
And they can crack down on that. But because Farming Sim on the PC network is a third party, you can get that and in-game that and use it and put it on third-party sites. Giants can't do anything with that, and Ford, or if any of those companies wanted to, they could hammer down on this. But they don't, because it's just more of a, hey, look at this, it's a publicity stunt.
Yeah, that's
Or
why
just something to put out.
I always wondered, like, you know, these farming companies, why don't they let them license the stuff? I mean, I'm so shocked it took John Deere so long. Like, it's a big community, and there's YouTubers. You're getting millions of people to see this stuff. That's more than the handful of farmers are going to see it otherwise. You know, maybe you can get them to, like, buy your mowers and stuff. It's like, come on.
That's the other thing is that when Giants got into this, because Case has been in the game since FS13.
Oh, yeah.
Case got into the game way early. And they know that because I'm a part of another project that has to deal with some farming things. And one thing that we noticed is that Case is very eager to get into the internet.
Oh, we lost Buck. Hold on. What happened? You're back. Hello?
Hello?
What happened there?
I don't know. Something just disconnected.
That was
but
weird.
Deere, in other words, is a very strong-headed... Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
My thing is apparently deciding to go dumb.
That's weird.
Oh, that's why. Hold on.
Technical difficulties. How are you?
Sleepy.
Sleepy.
I have work tomorrow morning at 8.
It's 6:30, schmuck.
I'm just telling you.
Yeah, I know.
All right, I'm back. Sorry about
Where are you
that.
The
coming over?
GoPro only goes for so long.
Are you coming over tomorrow too?
Yeah.
Okay, same time.
Yep.
Well, long story. Case is very open, in other words, to the electronic market, and Deere is just heavy, hard-headed. They're not going to budge, and they're going to keep just sticking their nose in stuff that they don't care about. They think they're too good for it, where it was. But then finally, the European side of it bowed down and said, okay, here you go. We'll let you use the rights to Deere. And that was a big market for it. All the modifications that have come out for Deere now is insane. The amount that's come to console, this goes for Case, this goes for Deere. It was just a playbook. When I can guarantee you that John Deere joining the Farming Simulator franchise will make brands in the next generation of the game, whatever it might be, FS21 or FS22.
Yeah.
Kubota's going to give in.
I wonder if Ford
Kubota
will.
will give in. Craftsman, like those little mowers, they might give in. Toro, Ford, Chevy, Dodge, Toyota, all of them are probably going to start going.
Oh my God! Can you imagine? Can we drive Priuses around?
No, it'll be more like the Tundras that they get for like a starter truck.
Oh, I wanted to drive a Prius around.
Well, if somebody makes that's what's nice about it is once they get the licensing to it, if it can clarify and go through Giants, people can make the Prius a mod.
Oh my God! They need to get Tesla. Get the Tesla Cybertruck in there. That would be freaking awesome.
All these brands just need to get together and go, this is a market that we can tap into, because once they get the rights to that, they're starting to make revenue off this.
Oh, yeah.
It's a no-brainer to, in other words, do that. Farming Simulator is making itself one of the best games in the world right now for the farming simulator icon. Like, they are the pinnacle of this. They are the face of the farming game. But their biggest competition is the brands they try to get.
Yep. I don't know if you ever noticed this. I don't know if you've played base game enough. Case tractors are a steal compared to literally everything else. Like, you start off
an American brand.
You start off with this base, like, so there's this in the medium tractors. There's a Case IH.
It's like a 2488 or something.
It's the base level one. It has more horsepower than any of like the next like 4 to 5 tractors. Like, and it's a fraction of the price. Now, granted, it doesn't have a front PTO. Actually, it only has a front loader attachment. It doesn't have a front PTO, but neither do those other ones. But it's like, it's so good. And so like I've been, since I've been doing so much research as I was trying to figure out how am I going to start this next Let's Play, I was like, this tractor is amazing. And like upgrading to the Puma's the next one. Then it's the Optimum. It makes I thought the Puma was a good deal. The Puma really only gives you the front PTO. Otherwise, it's not as powerful. You gotta jump all the way up to the Optimum to make it worth it.
Well, if you're actually looking at it from a logical agricultural standpoint of what those tractors are, the biggest reason that one's such a bang for its buck is that you're technically looking at the Case Magnum, like the 380, the 340 or 380 Magnum, whatever they have in there.
Oh, maybe that's what I was thinking of. Not the Puma. I think the Puma is a next level up.
The Magnum's the big workhorse. It's meant to be the ones that's hauling the carts, the big seeders, and all that stuff.
Right. Yep.
That's because that's for that time. That tractor was built for like the mid 2000s or the 80s when that thing was around. That's that tractor. That was the big Magnum of its time. So if you were to throw a front loader on it or put a baler on it, in reality, that tractor is going to be crudted out before you can even think about it. You wouldn't want to put a John Deere 8R, or in other words, the mid-size, the bigger one. So you've seen that, the 8400 or whatever it is.
I don't even look at the John Deeres because they're literally the Apple of the farming sim. And it's like, I can't afford this tractor, and it's not as powerful as the Case IH or like even maybe the Massey. So it's like, it's not worth my time.
Yeah. And just their sizes and whatnot. This is what my buddy told me. He's a hay farmer. If you put a 6M or a 6R on a baler versus an 8R, or if you were to go put the Puma on a baler versus the Magnum is going to just, it's meant to just go. It's not meant to do this start, stop. You're going to eat the clutch on them so fast because they're not meant to do that. They're meant to just go. So that's why when you get the smaller ones, they might be less on power, but from a realistic standpoint, they're actually better because they're built to do this start, stop, and the hydraulics and the whatnot. They're just more compact. They're built for it. So what?
Is that why it's such a good deal then? It's because it's meant for that?
It's meant for an older time frame, but because of its size and its age, they can slide it in that gap to make up for like an American market. It's not necessarily that's just the tractor they sell today. That's just like the workhorse back then, but they're selling it as if it were new for that generation.
That explains why it's got like that explains the logo and the style of tractor. I'm like, this thing looks like it's from the freaking 80s. Why is it so?
It is. That tractor is from like 1995.
Yeah, I got that from the little blue swish on the side of it. I was like, the hell is this?
Yeah.
But I love it.
It's an older tractor that they just that they pretty much slid into that market saying, hey, this is a medium, but in reality, in its time, it was as big as the quad tracks. Like, that was what the Mac Daddy tractors were.
Speaking of the quad tracks, that is the best tractor in the game. It's not the most expensive, but it's the most powerful.
Nope. 9Rs, like 9RXs.
Really? I was looking at the horsepower. I swear the Quadrax from the case is the most powerful one. Maybe I missed something.
Wait, how much horsepower is on the case?
I don't.
620?
I don't remember. Or maybe it was the kilowatts I was looking at. Maybe you had more kilowatts, but not as much for horsepower.
Well, from what I can tell you on this much, I never could figure out how Case did their like horsepower, like how you can tell which tractor has the amount of horsepower. This is how you can tell. Deere does it super easily. The first number and the first letter and number identifies the series. So they'll say like a 6M. That's the M series. That's the 6M series.
Right.
The last three numbers on the hood is the horsepower. So if you see a tractor that says 8270R, it's 270 horsepower, and it's a part of the 8R series. That's how that's how that one's shown.
Ah.
So Deere is very easy with that. Case is a little bit different. I think it's the same thing on the hood, but just the number on the hood is the amount of horsepower it has. So a Case Quadtrac 620 has like 620 horsepower.
All right.
But I'm not sure, because I've also seen it where apparently the horsepower is like 665 and the number on the hood's like a 520.
But to be fair, a farmer cop even mentioned he's like the numbers in the shop don't always match, especially like the speeds at which it works at for things. Like he's noticed you work a lot faster sometimes than what it suggests.
Mm-hmm. And the Quadtrac is actually a better option over the Steiger or any tractor with wheels because of the tracks. It's less ground compaction on the soil. Jay Leno's Garage did a review on this, and they placed an egg 2 or 3 inches underneath the dirt and buried it, and they covered it up, and they took a Case 620 Quadtrac. This sucker was huge.
Yeah.
And they drove over where the egg was, and then they dug it up. Thing didn't crack because it literally spreads that much weight out on the track.
Oh, it's so funny when I was playing. So I decided I'd hack the game and I would give myself basically infinite money. I gave myself somewhere in the neighborhood of in the septillions of dollars, and just because you can, and so I bought all these Quadracs, and like it's so funny. You hook it up to the biggest base sower in the game, and I think it's even the normal base game. I don't think you actually have to get the DLC. This thing is huge, and it dwarfs the tractor. The tractor pulls it no problem, but it's so massive. And then like it has to have the seed in a separate container. I'm like, this thing is huge. It's like 30.5 meters wide. It's huge.
That's because back in the 17 when they released that. Are you talking about like that? What do they call it? I know which one you're talking about. It's the big red cart with the wing, the air drill that has like the 4 extensions on each wing, and it goes out like 64 meters or something.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Just massive.
Yeah.
That one came out with the Big Bud DLC. That stuff you see up in Montana.
Well, I just did the math in my head about what 30 meters is, and you don't even think about it in the game. 30 meters is 100 yards. No, sorry, I'm stupid. It's 100 feet.
That's a third of a football field.
Yeah. I just did the math in my head. I'm like, oh my god. That's crazy.
Well, if you ever saw, when you look up Welker Farms, they did a LSW for tires. This is how big these tires are. They took a Case, not a 820, 8140 or an 8120 or something like that. Big old axial flow combine from like 2012. It had duals on the front, and they put these, I can't even remember what the heck they called them, something LSWs. This guy is like 6'2", and his head was barely taller than the tire.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you ever go to the Wahoo Fairgrounds, they always have like the brand new combines and stuff there. You're dwarfed by them anyways. It doesn't matter.
Oh, yeah.
We're supposed to talk about, so whenever the new FS game comes out, what do you want to see? Because I made a list of things I want to see added, and I don't know if they'll ever actually add them, but it's like, this would be kind of cool if they added this.
Go over your list first, because it might be the same thing, but also could be very different.
It's probably very different because of just the kind of stuff I'm into. Documents, please. Thank you. Crash. What? What the
This
hell?
live stream's probably gone on for like what, 4 hours by now?
No. We're only at an hour 30. We're doing great actually. Where? Oh, I was in files instead of notes. Okay, so I said I want to see Peanuts.
What?
Why not?
Okay,
Peanut.
yeah. Okay, yeah, we're thinking completely different things.
Well, yeah. So I was like, "Why? I want to see we can farm potatoes. We can farm freaking sugarcane. Why can't I farm peanuts? I want to be Jimmy Carter. Why not?
Florida.
I said rye because I mean we've got wheat, barley, oats. Where's
Well,
rye?
if you get, that's one thing that they've already sort of incorporated. I would like to see alfalfa be an in-game base game.
That's at the very bottom. That's in there. I put alfalfa on there because I thought it already was in the game. It's not. And then I put seed corn because wouldn't it be interesting if you could do your own like seed operation?
Yeah, like the Decolb and all those guys, Pioneer.
Wouldn't that'd be really cool? Like you get the big machine out there to go and cut the tassels. That'd be cool. That'd be cool. I think that'd be cool, and that'd work great in seasons.
Yes, seasons needs to be a standard thing.
Yeah,
As
that
well
should
as
be a
units
switch.
for conversion. Conversion units and seasons need to be base games. Here's another one for you. Used equipment market. I'm talking, this thing is rusted out piece of junk, has 9,000 hours on it, and it could be 3/4 of the price. It could be a 2012 John Deere combine, and it costs $20,000 because
God.
it's used.
That's like that base little combine you can get that you got on the platinum edition of 2017. That's just a piece of junk. It barely ran, but that thing was new apparently. Anyways, baling corn stalks and bean stubble for that matter. We do it in real life.
Somebody actually made that happen.
What?
Somebody actually made that happen. That is a possibility.
Yeah. I'm like, why is that not a thing? I go like, oh, I want to bale corn stalks. And it's like, nope. I'm like, what do you mean I can't bale corn stalks? What is this bull crap? Baling corn stalks, further diversification in non-standard harvesters. Like, there's only 2 freaking cotton harvesters, and the one you have to get in the DLC. And you can't compare them, because the one is the John Deere one, which is round bales, which actually, personally, I liked the Case IH, but because of this non-stop baling action you get with the round baler one, and it's got more horsepower, it's a better cotton harvester.
Boy, when 19 first came out, the amount of people that would post in the chats with the Case cotton harvester, they go, just hauling the marshmallows to the s'more stand. They look like giant s'more marshmallows.
Oh yeah, they do. And then at least the John Deere ones are like wrapped in yellow, and so like
Yeah.
they're cotton.
The Case ones just straight look like s'more marshmallows.
Nitrogen. Like I was watching my neighbor. He was putting
Hydrus.
in hydrous. I couldn't spell anhydrous, so I wrote nitrogen. But where is it? They added herbicide, which I thought they would never add herbicide because I knew they were European. And I figured no way Europe would ever add herbicide in liquid fertilizer. Well, actually, no, just herbicide. But they did, and I was like, whoa! I wasn't expecting that.
Again, they're getting more and more and more and more into that aspect. To get the actual anhydrous tank would not be an issue because you can make a lizard anhydrous tank anywhere, any day of the week.
Oh, yeah.
It's literally just a sphere with 2 wheels and an axle going down the middle.
Yep.
With a little hitch in the front. The toolbar would be a little bit more of a controversy because they don't have any branding for that besides their own lizard. Case, though, does make one, so they could have a Case anhydrous DLC or something with that matter, and then make a lizard one that's just bigger. So that is a possibility. That's a good one.
But although with John Deere now, I wonder if they won't be able to get Ford because doesn't Ford make like the majority of the anhydrous applicators, or do they make the old ones?
Oh, it was like B&B Tools.
Oh, maybe it is B&B. I don't know. I guess I never noticed because Ford was always blue, so I see the blue one. I'm like, oh, it's Ford.
No, that's the BB ones.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't know this. They actually make cable reel trailers as well. We had some of them stop by at work the other day.
And then, and irrigation. Center pivots.
I want to see Vermeer.
Oh, yeah, I'd love to get a Vermeer baler. This is bull crap.
Vermeer makes balers. They make rakes. They make mowers. They
make swatters.
What?
They make swatters.
They make wood chippers.
Where is Vermeer?
What?
Like you said, where's Vermeer? I didn't even think about that. Yeah, where's Vermeer?
Vermeer, it's another company that's harder to get a hold of. But by that, I mean their marketing director is kind of the not so friendly type, I've heard.
Ah, well, maybe we'll just start working for Vermeer.
Also works, very good person, but just it's hard. They're harder to work with.
So what do you? That's the kind of stuff I just thought of when I was at work that I want to see added. I mean, I'd love to see more crops. I mean, I love the diversification we have. I want more. There's more crops that I can think of that I'd like to be able to produce, but I can't.
Mm-hmm.
And I would also, they need to improve their helper AI. Like, come on. Like,
not as complicated as Courseplay, which is a pain in the arse to set up, but it does need to be something that is better than helper A is blocked by an object. No duh, because you're driving in the middle of a road and got hit by a car.
the helper AI, it baffles me. Like, there's this field I bought, and I guess you'll watch it in my Let's Play. The helper won't follow a diagonal line. They only go in straight lines in accordance with the map, so only perpendicular and only like north and south, east and west. Well, at least on this field, I couldn't get them to go on a diagonal line. They would only go straight, and so it would fill out like only half the field, and I'd have to go and do the rest myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I hired you for a reason.
And but we also got to think now, FS19 is the very beginning of what I feel is going to make the game a whole lot better. And with the office in Chicago, it could possibly get even a lot better on our side. Is FS was designed around rectangular fields. It's meant to have a combine go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Did I mention they go back and forth?
No.
Yes. No, totally not. I missed all the points. But that's what they were done. And until 19, like mod creators started making maps since even 13, they started making the fields rounded, more American or more European, whatever to that nation was. And the AI just had nothing to do because the game's creators literally made fields in their in-game things to be literally perfect squares, and there was nothing around them so they could turn around.
Even in all their fields, most of them are perfect squares, but they're not. But they still don't follow them. I still have, I still have to go and like do crap. It's irritating.
And that's just one thing that always kind of pet peeved me as well was the helpers. But again, once you start getting into more, if it's multiplayer makes the game a lot more fun on the aspect of just helping around, because then you can have multiple people doing different things rather than just The other one though that I feel that would make it better is the maps for European maps are 99% of the time just beautiful. The landscaping, the detail, the functionality of what you can do, they're endless. They're beautiful. And then you go to the American market. Every single map is either flat and huge, or it might be hilly, but everything is just, it don't work, or it's just, again, fields are square. There are only a handful of American maps that can claim the title of this actually feels American. Upper Mississippi River Valley was one of them. Lone Oaks is the pinnacle of American maps. And then there's a handful of other ones that are around that market.
But I mean, to be fair, Europeans do see America as just big, flat, and square. And
it is. But
to be
they
fair,
also don't live here in the parts where, like Nebraska, Iowa, we have what we like to call hills and roundedness. We have terraces.
Oh, we've got the gods of all terraces. I hate terraces. We've got terraces,
but
Buck.
we don't have. No one makes them unless they're from the U.S. And with the offices built in Chicago, that's a big step in the right direction. We're looking for people that can technically inspect the Midwest to know what the heck they're doing. Ravenport was actually designed off of California. When's the last time you saw a corn harvester going in California besides on the side closer to Nevada? They're going off of like lakefront property where it's a small town south of San Francisco.
I was like, why is this map so, like, all the areas they picture are just junk. I'm like, this is Ravenport, and it's so run down compared to the European ones, and I'm like, is this what they see America as? Run down? Like,
the best American map to ever be like a vanilla map, the only issue with it was the square fields, was Westbridge Hills. It had that feeling of American style of the hills, the size of the fields were good, it had a town with a flipping baseball diamond. It was just, it felt right.
That's American right there. Baseball. Right, Kyle?
Sure.
What do you mean? How is baseball not American? Communist.
Yeah.
What? All right.
What?
What? Buck's gonna throw you out the window. He's gonna whatever the word that was that Phil was showing us.
Das Vidanya.
That's not what Das Vidanya. That's not Das Vidanya.
Do you know what Das Vidanya means?
I know the word. I used to say it as a child, but I don't.
It's Russian.
What does it mean?
It means goodbye.
Yeah, I used to say it as a child. Child me was. I tell you, child me knew all the foreign languages.
I would have loved.
He was Mr. Worldwide. I tell you what.
I want to learn Czech, Russian, and Norwegian.
We can cut your tongue off for all those, and you'll be able to speak them better. It's true. To speak Slavic languages, 50 your tongue gets cut off. Poor Buck's over. He's like, what is going on over there?
I can help you out with that.
Oh my god. Is that a lightsaber?
Turned back on.
I was like, is that a lightsaber?
Is that a lightsaber?
Yes.
Oh no. Okay. All right. This podcast is. Oh boy.
Is your camera still on?
I think it's gonna turn. Mine? I don't know. I've never
GoPro?
tried it. Oh,
The thing about this
GoPro's
one
still
though
running.
is that when I got it, it came with two of them, and it also came with a connector in the middle, so I can have it as a staff saber.
All right, Darth Maul.
Do it.
What Jedi do you have?
Yeah.
What lightsaber? What lightsaber is it?
It's just it's actually a multicolor one.
Oh, is it the multi one? Okay, I know which one.
It's
it's
a
the
multicolor
Disney
one,
one.
but I specifically got it
it's the
because you
junk
can make
plastic
staff
one that you,
saber,
like,
and
interchange
Maul
with-
is
Yeah, I know.
my
Yeah.
G. He
I
is
really want to
the
go
pinnacle.
to the Savi's Workshop ones. Those ones are awesome.
So right. So FS19. So I guess what do you want to see? You said you wanted to see Vermeer. What else did you want to see?
I want to see, like I said,
The American
better
map.
American style maps. I would also like to see, the used equipment market. If you haven't heard of it, FSN, Farming Simulator Network. The ideology behind it is that it incorporates money, loans, bank interests, registering of vehicles. You can only start with a certain amount of things. All the mods that are incorporated into the server, like it would have to be, if you're going to start this one up, you have to have all this servers again, but it would all be incorporated into the server. You start with a certain amount of money. You auction off the land. You can auction equipment. You can sell your equipment to other farmers on other markets. It's an entire like real world style, and our group did it for about a month and a half, and then we just opted out because we couldn't get as much content out on it because it restricted us so much. Even though we had,
It was too
even though
realistic.
we had connections to the creator of it, we physically just couldn't work around some of the rules because of just.
It was too real.
It technically was to a point. I would have technically been fine with it because I would have loved the budgeting aspect of it. It was so real on the matter of, okay, we have $200,000. If we want to buy this property for $60,000, which implements do we actually start with? Because we had the budget. Actually, I have to take that back. Because we were content creators, we were given like a $500,000 budget.
Oh wow.
And we bought a property. And this was the best part. We had a property picked out. This was on Medicine Creek, if you've heard of that map yet. And we had a property picked out from the top left map. We had everything going for it. We were talking plans, and this was in a Discord call for the auction. We missed the auction, and the buddy of ours who was going to be working with us,
Oh, no.
as our teammates, he bought the property right in front of us. We're like, you piece of garbage.
Wow.
So then we went back to the bottom half of the map, and we got a property that was a little bit more expensive, but we also got a lot more land to work with. And then we also were able to do tillage and whatnot. And we had to get permits to build things, and it was beautiful. It was so real. But then my buddy or my partner, he's just like, we need to get deer, and deer. We need to get more deer, and then we need to get this. And I'm like, dude, think it through. You see this beautiful little thing we like to call a Massey Ferguson, and how it's like $40,000 cheaper? Yeah, get that. The viewers aren't gonna like it. Screw the viewers, dude. Sometimes you need to go real. You last longer.
Well, that's like me. I'm like, you know, everybody's gonna call me a case lover, and I do like case, but it's like they're the cheap ones. I'm going with the case. You know.
Yeah. And you're getting technically the exact same thing, just the paint color's different.
Yeah.
In reality.
Yeah.
But it's just, it was so much fun, and I love it. I would get back into it, but my content, it would just differ too much from it. Like, I don't know. I need to get back in the chat with Hans, though.
One last thing, before we leave, because the GoPro's probably gonna die soon. What I want to see is, you know, Flight Sim 19.
Yes.
Where's farming sim like that? The whole world. I mean, maybe not the whole world, but like we get the United States and then Europe.
Technically, you could do that with like American Trucking Sim. What they do is the map in general is absolutely massive, but one thing that it helps with that is that they have like the map expansions where you can get like Utah and Oregon and all that stuff. But the clip distance is what helps them on that. It's not like GTA where you can go anywhere you want, which is what they'd have to work around. But it gives the scale because once they drive past a truck stop, once you get like maybe 20 seconds away from that truck stop on the highway, it goes out of your computer. It'd be like RAM. Memory goes in, memory goes out. You're not loading the whole map at one point.
Right.
So it would be decent for computers. So I actually can see what you're going there. The problem with that is then you're going to get people that want different maps. They're going to be like, I want one of my area that's more accurate. Well, okay.
Yep, that would be difficult. But maybe the mining community could come together with Giant and like do it. I mean, the mining community, that's definitely something they could do. They can make their own areas. You know, Giants. That's what 98% of like American maps that are actually decent are. The only one that's not really based off of an area, it is, but not like a specific one, is the Upper Mississippi River Valley. That one's supposed to border Iowa and Wisconsin by the Missouri River, or whatever river that is. And that one's but like Medicine Creek, that one's based in Medicine Creek,
I can't remember where that one's at.
No, where's Medicine Creek? Medicine Creek's with you. Medicine Creek. Where's Medicine Creek? It was a big massacre battle for Native Americans. I know Medicine Creek. It was in. I remember watching the Indian Wars.
Like Georgetown, that's another American map. That one's based in New York. Westby, Wisconsin, obviously out of Wisconsin. Actually, I take that back. There is another map that is not. It's a really great American map, but it's been known now as the Iowa map because of ours, and that's County Line. County Line's another really good example of an American map where fields aren't too big. They have two small towns, one of which actually has a baseball diamond and a football field.
Oh, wow.
A high school football field, has a church, all this stuff in there, just small town stuff. Wells Fargo, an entire thing on there. It was just gorgeous. And that's what we started our roleplay stuff on. It had TSC, a Ford dealership. Beautiful. It was literally the icon of American maps for like roleplay stuff.
America. What a good time.
I've done a couple videos on that map buying vehicles. I also did my original Platte Valley dealership on those maps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a America. I always thought about that. I'm like, isn't Americans the ones that are buying these games in the first place? Not as much as Europeans. Or am I still wrong?
Europe is actually a very heavy simulation style of area. That's why Euro Truck Simulator, that was like one of the first kind of games to boom on this. Farming Sim never really took off because, again, they sold it to the American market, but it was portrayed more in the European style, which is why they had brands like 13 was all Deutschfahr. And then literally and then they had a couple cases, and they had some lizards, and they had like 2-3 cases.
Right.
But then FS15 came around, and it was strictly New Holland. New Holland got into the game heavy. They just dominated the market. And then 17 came out, and it was kind of a toss-up. There wasn't really a dedicated brand.
No, there definitely wasn't.
17... Which one?
No, they definitely weren't. They weren't. There's nothing dedicated at all.
There might have been, but it was kind of a split power between Case and New Holland. They kind of all worked together, and then the Europeans kind of came back. But 19, straight deer. It was all on deer. When it came in, like there's not a whole big portion of deer in the game, but it was definitely the favored brand and the trademark, in other words, of that version.
Oh yeah, I mean the original trailer. I remember watching the original trailer. How excited I got! The tractor they show is a deer, and everybody got super excited.
Oh yeah,
like not to mention there was a dog there, which was already a big thing. Everybody ignored it. Like, what's the tractor they're gonna show? It's like gonna be a deer. It's gonna be a deer. And it was a deer.
When I saw the yellow rims, I about freaked. Because I could tell that it was green paint at first when they raised up the thing, but the second I saw yellow rims, I'm like, no way. I remember I was sitting in a computer apps class, and the rule in that class is that you can't have your tabs open on anything else. You had to be on whatever the heck we were on. Well,
I always had music
here's
open.
the thing. They never said anything about saving it to your bookmark, so every day before class started, I would check Giant Sight to see what else they'd add from deer. They'd put in, like, the 1 tractor. They put in the 8R. And I saw they put in the 7R. And then they put in the 6R. And then they put in, there comes the Combine. No way. And it was just beautiful.
Oh, man. And then the cotton. They had the cotton. And
the sugar cane, I actually saw where they got that model from. It's from a model site called GrabCAD. It was a free model, and they just stuck Case logos.
Yeah, a lot of people are like, nobody really likes the self-driving sugarcane thing. It doesn't work with like half the trailers you get to use, and so it's like sugarcane's really annoying. And I'm like,
have you ever actually seen? This is where Vermeer comes into play. Have you seen Vermeer's self-driving mailer?
No.
This thing is a monster.
Tell you what,
it is absolutely amazing.
Tell you what, let's show me after the podcast. The GoPro's gonna die.
I'm just gonna send you a picture of it.
All right. Anything you want to shout out? Any plans?
I would have to say I would like to, in other words, give my buddy here, Mr. Dr. Sheep, as well as Kyle, shout out. Beautiful to that. I'd like to give all my family, friends, and supporters a shout out. All my friends that I work with, and life just going, I don't know at this point. Everybody just do fine. Everyone gets a shout out.
Well, thanks, Buck. Thanks for coming on. This was probably one of the more fun ones, I would say.
Yes.
I really liked this one.
Definitely.
More civil.
It was.
Is it like the Phil one? Have you watched the one where I get in a fight with Phil?
No, but I remember the last time we tried doing this, we ended up starting to talk about like bars and all that stuff, and we were like, "Wait a minute."
Yeah.
We were talking about how you were going to go to donate at the. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the last time I talked to you.
Yep, that was an idea. That idea died. Anyways, I would like to thank you all for watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Check out Buck's channel. To be honest, you're all from him anyways, so good night.